got us feeling all right. Here we go. It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday evening. Regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man, he's sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He said, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Now John at the bar, he's a friend of mine. He gets me my drinks for free, and he's quick with a joke, or he'll light up your smoke, but there's some place that he'd rather be. He said, John, I believe this is killing me, as the smile ran away from his face. Oh, I know I could be a big movie star if I could get out of this place. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Now Paul, he's a real estate novelist who never had time for a laugh. And he's talking with Davy, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life. And the waitress is practicing politics as the businessman slowly gets stoned. They're sharing a drink they call loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. I hope so, anyway. It's a pretty good crowd for a Sunday. And the manager,
she does. She gives you a smile.
She gives you and me and everybody, you, me, everybody, a smile. She knows it's me. Most of them have been coming to see.
You reckon?
To forget about life for a while. Oh, and say, man, what are you doing here? La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la la. Come on now, sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. As the Steinway dies down.
Some kind of record. You just
6 minutes.
6 minutes 40 seconds.
Yeah.
No one's won that one.
No, because I thought, I'm not going to let you win.
Oh, I know. Can I just point out to everyone my new chair? My new chair. I feel very CEO-ish in this chair.
Sorry, what was that about? Don't get
It's
the
my
chair.
chair.
No.
That's my chair.
Yeah, but who went and got that chair for you?
He just wants lots of credit because he had the idea.
I dragged it down the stairs from her office, which hasn't seen the light of day for, well. So I thought, right, let's get that chair because she had to sit.
I just got to resist the urge not to keep swinging on it.
No. Can you spin round? Can you do a spin round?
Can I spin round? I can probably spin round, although I'm a bit. Ooh.
Go on, keep going. Don't be adventurous.
I'm stuck.
Oh,
Woo! I have to spin back again to get the.
I think actually people out there really are saying you should get out more if this is the amount of excitement. This is what goes for excitement.
Manager's chair. I can say from here, you're fired.
Do you know what? It's exhausting. It's a chair.
It's a chair.
Right, now, good evening, and wherever in the globe you are tonight, whether in the West Indies, Australia, New Zealand, Cape Town, wherever you are, we welcome you all across England, Ireland, Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland, Wales, Scotland. We welcome you here, and indeed the south of England.
Yes, we do.
We welcome you all here to another night.
Very lovely to have you here in our Steinway room again.
With me and a little bit of Sue.
I think you're wrong.
In her swing chair.
But we're delighted to be back. We're apologising again for last week. It didn't happen. But
that was me.
We are back and fighting fit.
The effect
again.
of steroids. I can only say the effect of steroids it always amazes me, and always it's a devastating effect, and it's either devastatingly wonderful or devastatingly horrible. So it's at the end of the day, I kind of went, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it, and I thought, right, there we are, next. So we've had a nice few days away by the sea, and we hope we're going to get lots more of that towards the late summer.
Yeah.
With the lovely generosity of people who have places, and we are very blessed for that. This song is for, and I think actually this is going out to.
Yes, Jill and Andy Varney popped round to see us this morning, which was lovely. It was so nice to see you this morning. Thank you for coming round and having coffee with us, and bringing our granddaughters with you. That was lovely. So you suggested this one, and a good choice it is too. And I'm also going to suggest that this is for Karen Spicer. You're watching from hospital in London somewhere. So we're grateful that you're able to join us this evening, but we want this one for you, but also for my dear friend Jane Hall. Now, those of you who know that when I came out of hospital, I was looked after by my superb friend Sally, who basically moved in for a couple of weeks and looked after me. That was an amazing act of selflessness. And her dear mum had a fall recently, and she's in hospital. So, Jane, this one is for you.
When I'm down, and oh, my soul so weary, when trouble comes and my heart burden be, and I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. There is no life without its hunger. Each restless heart beats so imperfectly. But when you come and I'm filled with wonder, sometimes I think I glimpse eternity. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. And I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. I'm strong when I'm on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be. More than I can be.
Wow, that was lovely. People
Now, I'm
enjoyed
practicing
that very
these
much. People
because we
enjoyed
have
that.
our first concert. When do we have our first concert
on
soon?
the 24th of September.
24th
So in
September.
about 5 weeks' time.
In
down
Paignton.
in Paignton. Down in Paignton. In
You can
Devon.
find all the information on our website.
Yep.
We'll also be putting it up on the site
Yep.
here.
Yep.
And there are about 6 or 7 dates that we've got before
Yep.
Christmas.
Yep.
Hopefully more than that as people add to them. Had a couple of cancellations, but generally we're going forward for them as we can do them with help, and it's going to be great to get out there in front of an audience again. But I need to be practicing because I need to know what a difference a day makes.
Oh, nicely done, Mr. Veira. Nicely done. Now I've got to stand up, haven't I? Hang on a second.
What a difference a day makes. 24 little hours brought the sun and the showers where there used to be rain. My yesterday was blue, dear. Today I'm a part of you, dear. My lonely nights are through, dear. Since you said you were mine, what a difference a day made. There's a rainbow before me. Skies above can't be stormy. Since that moment of bliss, that thrilling kiss, it's heaven when you find romance on your menu. What a difference a day made. And the difference is you. At this point, I'll grab a member of the audience and we'll dance. Although actually, where I dance, no one wants that.
Socially distanced dancing.
Socially distanced dancing. Thank you, Ben. My yesterday was blue, dear. Today I'm a part of you, dear. My lonely, lonely, lonely nights is through, dear. Since you said you were mine, oh mine, what a difference a day makes. There's a rainbow before me. Skies above can't be stormy. Since that moment of bliss, that thrilling kiss, it's heaven when you find romance on your menu. What a difference a day makes. And the difference is you. Is you. Is you, my baby. Oh, my baby. It's you. Sweet baby, my baby, it's you. To fade. Oh my baby, it's you. Disappears from camera and get fade. Oh, all right. That was a fade. That was a fade there.
Fade.
Right, excellent.
Okay, well that song was for Peter and Louise Day.
Ah, what a difference a day makes. Have they moved?
But also because they are moving very, very, very soon. I think it's in the next few days. They are moving away from Bognor Regis. So what a difference a day makes indeed for you guys.
And they're moving
but
to Littlehampton.
Another person for whom a difference a day makes is for dear Tony Colford, because tomorrow, your special day, is your birthday, and you will be 77 tomorrow.
Tony!
I can't believe that, Tony. So happy birthday for tomorrow.
Happy birthday,
with
mate.
all our love.
Okay, this song. Now, you done?
Sorry, one more.
One more. Okay, go on.
One more. Thank you for all your questions. And yes, we are looking forward to going out and doing live shows. Sadly, we will not be able to stream them because we don't have the technology for that. But also, can I just point out that we will be doing these as well? Not possibly every week, but it's not either or, it's both.
I'm
will be
afraid, and
happening.
streaming, I'm afraid, is far too difficult. We have to rely on the church to have the good signal. Plus, we have a whole team that have to set it up. We haven't got that team.
Indeed. However, we will be doing live shows. Those will be on the website, and we'll be doing these shows on most Sunday nights that we can manage.
That we can manage.
But we're sorting that out at the moment with our beautiful tech team, who are stunning people.
Let's move on, please.
Move on. Okay.
So, an interesting day will be Thursday, because the kindness of you, the community, has never known any bounds. It's been an extraordinary thing for us to experience how you have just mobilised, and we're going to get you mobilised again in so many different ways, and we'll tell you all about that in a minute. But one of the ways in which a guy called Al Duncan, who's a friend from way back when, Sue knew him when she was 14 years old, something like that, and Al is a businessman in Staines, and he's a good friend, and he loves the piano, plays the piano very, very well indeed in a band and all of that. And he's been a great friend to us over this COVID time, contributing to the crowdfunding, being generous and kind to us in so many different ways. And one of the ways he did it was to write to Steinway in Marylebone Road. That's Steinway, that is the centre for Steinway. And he's told them all about these shows and the fact that this was going on and that they won an award, BBC award, and blah, 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 and that we'd been working with Steinway for so long, effectively, promoting their brand. So he wrote to them and said, is there anything that you can do? Because the piano is a bit old and it needs a bit of attention and da-da-da-da-da. Is there anything you can do? Now, it's a lovely guy called Dave writes back to him and says, yes, I know about Jonathan's career, didn't know that Jonathan owned a Steinway, and I was able to tell him about the history of the piano, which goes back to Lord de Rothschild's time, and he knew all about this. Anyway, long and short of it, because of that letter sent by Al, bless you, Al, he's coming on Thursday for lunch and to look and assess the piano. Now, it doesn't mean he'll do anything, but we're going to just see what happens from that. But the kindness, Al, of thinking of it in the first place, it meant that he's coming.
It's just lovely. So that will be on Thursday lunchtime.
So that's brilliant. Sue's going to feed him a lovely lunch, and then he can look at the piano, or the other way around. This song is a Billy Joel song. I've sang it once before, and I used to sing it quite a lot. Now, all the sentiments in this song are not accurate. For example, what it says about women, but I'll correct that in a second. But it's about the baby grand. And what this Steinway has meant for us over these 18 months has meant a huge amount for you out there in the big wide world. And the Steinway Room would never have come about. The YGAF would never come about. The charities, the money, the generosity that has been shown would never come about. And this wouldn't have been another arm of what we do, what the JV experience is around records and concerts and everything else. And this song, Billy Joel wrote about his piano, and it's called Baby Grand. Well, this is slightly bigger than a baby grand, but it's the same kind of sentiment about pianos and what I've done over the years with this piano. And it goes like this. Late at night, when it's dark and cold, I reach out for someone to hold. When I'm blue and I'm weary, she comes through. She's the only one who can. My baby grand is all I need. In my time, I've wandered everywhere around this world. She would always be there, any day, any hour. All it takes is the power in my hand. This baby grand's been good to me. I've had friends, but they've slipped away. I've had fame, but you know, it just doesn't stay. I've made fortunes, well not really, but spend them fast enough. As for women, they don't last with just one man, apart from Sue, of course. But baby Grand will stand by me. They say no one's gonna play this on the radio. They said the melancholy blues were dead and gone, but only songs like these, played in minor keys, keep those memories holding on. I've come far from the life I've strayed in. I've got the scars from those dives I've played in. Now I'm home and I'm weary in my bones, and every dreary one night stand. But baby Grant's come home with me. Ever since this gig began, my baby Grant's been good to me.
Very lovely, JV. Very lovely.
Nice song. I love those
Gareth,
sentiments.
Gareth Hill says
Gareth
thank
Hill,
you.
that's the one.
It's his favourite Billy
Favourite
Joel.
song. Did you enjoy it, Gareth? I hope
He
you did, mate.
he
I thought
did.
of
He
you,
said-
and I did think of you.
He said thank you. He said thank you.
Okay, and that's great. Now, moving on. It's such a packed show. Want to talk a little bit about. I was driving along in the car today, trying to think. I've got only a few minutes to say this, and I just want to get it all out as much as I can. White Gaff, you've got a friend trust. It's called lots of different things. One for legal reasons, one for practical reasons, but it's the same thing. What it exists to do is it does not exist as an arm of the social services. We are not the social services. We don't try and be the social services. It's a bit like going to hospital, and when they have you in A&E, they triage you. They work out what is wrong with you. And if they can give you, if you've got pain, they can give you an injection. And what they say, or a tablet, and they say, look, go off and do this, and then you'll be, then you must go and see a specialist. Now, we are the people who give you the painkillers, all right? We don't treat the problem. YGAF, what it attempts to do is put an arm around you, and it says, you matter. Now, there have been about 28 or nearly 30 grants that have been made. We call them grants, gifts that have been given to people in various different levels of need. They are small gifts, they are not huge gifts, but it's as the community is given, and as we found that we can give money for ourselves from money that you give us or whatever, then the charity has been able to give. But the heart of what we thought and what Sue and I felt, and then we passed on, we sat with Adrian all those months ago, and we said, we want to put an arm around people and tell them they matter. Because sometimes it needs just an arm around to say that. Because when you're feeling really low and there's nothing and you've got no encouragement, when you've got a diagnosis of something that is so difficult, and nobody knows that more than I do. You know I know that now. Okay, and how difficult that can be. And to know that people care for you, and that are just sending a gift of some description. That's what this community is about. What's interesting is, now, a lot of us come from the point of view of being Christian. We are Christian, we have faith, we believe it's part of the ministry of Jesus. That's what he does. He says, remember that thing that I talked about? When I was hungry, you fed me. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was in prison, you visited me. And as much as you've done it to the least of my brethren, you've done it unto me. We use that verse as the basis for this. And then the other the piece of text we use is from Wordsworth, which is that better part of a man, those little unremembered acts of love and of kindness. Now that's what we do this for. That's what YGAF exists for. And I hope it will exist way in after I'm gone. Because it will be lovely to feel that in perpetuity we leave a legacy of kindness to people. Mm-hmm. Now that's something, and I think what's really important here is that each one of us have felt that we're stakeholders in this. We are franchised rather than disenfranchised. It's not some body out there, it's us. It's you, almost like a cooperative, helping your brother or your sister.
I think what you were going to say at one point was that it's, although many of us are Christian, this is not just specifically for Christian people. It is for all comers.
All comers.
All people.
For all people, and it's humanitarian in its essence. Humanitarian in its essence. Many of us come from the Christian standpoint, but we do not have to be Christian to be. Look at what's happening in Afghanistan. I put a post up the other day about it. Many of us are moved. Just simply forget your politics. Politics are involved in it, but protect your. Just say, what is this? What does this mean? How can I show generosity and kindness to people who have been let down so incredibly badly and are left in a humanitarian crisis? And so that cries out from all of us who help other people. I think of so many people in this community. I think of people like Sue Strawn, who were on the other day, who just reach out and help people in her predicament, and many others, of Sharon By. So many people. It's Stuart McCready. So many of you are out there reaching out to people. And so, YGAF, we're having a YGAF Day.
We are.
And the YGAF Day will be the first annual YGAF Day. It'll be the 25th. You don't have to be doing it on that day. You can do lots of different things. Here it is up on the screen.
Wow.
Thank you first of all for Chairman
Adrian
for coming up with this idea, and then Claire giving it a nice polish up and clean up, and that's what you can do. What are you going to do? That's the thing. What are you going to do? Now we've got so many different regions represented and so many different people. It'd be nice to do. You can do it in regions. You can do things in the northwest, the southwest, the east, the north, wherever you are. Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, it doesn't matter. You do something, and however small it is, people, whether it's selling 5 cakes for 50p, if that's what you can do. Remember there's a lovely tale in the Bible called the widow's mite, where she gives everything that she can. That's all she can give. She gives what she can. And many of you, Sue, you were saying about many people not having money to be able to give. And so you don't give anything.
That's absolutely fine. It's not about how much money you can give, because you bring what you can. And if you have a talent for making cakes and people are going to buy them, and you just sell a few, then that's great.
That's all.
You know, if you can sew something that people would like and you can sell that, then that's fantastic. If you can walk and people will sponsor you to walk, then you do that. You do what you can do. And if you can't do any of those things, but you can give money, then that's what you do.
That's what you do. Now, the beautiful principle is that if lots of people give a small amount, it makes a big difference.
It does
Can you see that? Lots of people give a small amount, it makes a big difference. And that's what we're after to, as we come into what's going to be a very challenging time over the next few months for people. And I'm going to talk about that with Colin Richards, the triple whammy of, he'll talk about it. We'll talk about that in CAP. But that's what we're after. We're after you getting involved. What can you do? Sue, can you just talk them through this?
Okay, so there's some information here. It's all going to be up on the website, which is jvlivetech.uk/YGAF Day, but don't worry about that. We're going to put that up later for you to see. And Claire has just been beavering away, and she's made all kinds of posters and sheets for you to download. And you can say what you're going to do, and you can download sheets that people can fill in, sponsorship sheets, and so on. So,
and if you don't have that facility, ask your daughter or your son or a friend who can do it for you, and they can download that, and then you can make, and then you can basically, the idea will be on the 25th and over the weeks coming, the following weeks, we will post some of you can video yourself doing it, and we can post them up. You raising this, walking down the road, doing something, short videos. I don't want a half an hour. We just want a minute, something like that. And some of them we can put up, and we can inspire others as you've been inspired to raise money towards this. So
you've got the Got a Friend Trust Day. You've got all you need to know, and the printable posters, etc. downloads are on jvlivetech.uk/YGAF Day. And that's all that you will need. Just go there and they will all be there. And it will be there on Tuesday. That's where Claire is heading for. She's working hard on it now, but basically she's having to just sort of run really hard to keep up with this. Yes. So bless her, it will be here by Tuesday.
So
that's
we've
what she's aiming
for.
for.
25th, that's the date. The 25th that we're heading for. And let's just see what we can do to make a difference to people's lives.
Indeed.
To make a difference to your own lives.
And already you are talking to each other, which is fantastic.
Which is fantastic.
Already aiming to do something together.
Today we had Andy coming in, and Andy's going to cycle so that Adrian, if you're listening, he's going to cycle around the equivalent of the Isle of Wight. So if you want to sponsor him, just for that amount, small amounts, £5, £10, whatever you can afford. And if you can afford to give only £20 over this whole month, then you go £5 here, £5 there, inspire, help people along so that they know what they're doing is worth doing. Okay? That's good. I think I want one video before I speak to Ben on Zoom. We're going to be slightly later than we were, but I don't mind that. Ben, what was great is Rachel and Claire. They formed a beautiful video. I think it was I can't even remember now. It's so long ago. This was way back when of who people were listening, where people were listening around the country, around the world. And Claire. Sorry, Rachel, could you put that up for us? Just
1 second.
Go on.
Just 1 second.
Great.
A really good example of this giving to YGAF and things that you can do.
Yes.
Our lovely Rachel, our very own Rachel, has been recognised by her council that she works for, and she's been given the Be Proud Award for services above and beyond. And we would, of course, give her all those awards. Anyway, they've awarded her, and she's aim higher. Okay, I don't know where I'm aiming higher, but anyway. So the idea is, you've got she's been given the award for Be Proud, and they said you can either have it in cash or you can give it to a charity of your choice. She has asked for them to give it to the YGAF charity, which is amazing. So Rachel has done what she can do, and hopefully they will action that for us.
Here's a video showing where you all come from, and it shows you where you can connect with people up. If you can write on Messenger and connect up with those people, okay? Just write in and say where you're from, all that kind of stuff, and you can kind of regionalise it and see if you can compete. Who can get more? That would be great. Okay, off you go, Rach. Let's see this.
It's coming.
Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Let us receive a King. Let every heart prepare Him room. And heaven and nature sing, 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 and heaven and nature sing. Joy, joy, sing it to me. People get ready for the train to come. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel hum. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. People get ready. The train to Jordan, picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is the key, open the doors and borders. There's room for all among the loved and lost. Well, there ain't no room for the hopeless sinner who's heart of mankind just to save his own soul. Have pity on them whose chances are thinner, for there's no hiding place from the kingdom throne. Oh, people get ready for the train a-coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. You just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. People get ready for the train a-coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord.
Wow.
Fabulous reminder.
Amazing.
Well done,
Absolutely
guys.
amazing.
That was just lovely to see
And
it.
we know that not everyone is on there. We're really sorry, but
So,
we did try hard at the time.
If you weren't mentioned on there, write in now. Just tell
We're
us.
not going to put you on there, but just write
Just
in.
write in. Just write in and tell us, because then I'll look at it later on when the show's done. So.
Right, now, we need our special guest.
We do, and just to say that you can make that difference in your area. People are starting to talk, and that's fantastic. Gets talking. Our first special guest tonight, the Sky at Night, Mr. Sir Patrick Moore. Oh no, he's dead, isn't he? Here he is. Here's Ben Casey, Mr.
Hello.
Astrophysicist himself. Hello. How are you doing? All right.
Yes, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good.
Good. And what we're doing now is Ben. Now, there was some stuff that came up recently, and we mentioned in the after party. You mentioned about a meteor shower, and it's already down. It's already down. Rachel, it's down.
Yes.
And the meteor shower. Tell us a little bit about what's going on and why.
Yeah.
And
So
why you wanted to come on and talk to us.
I think I mentioned this not last time, but maybe the time before, something like that. And it's always a question kind of thing. Meteor showers, and when they actually happen and things like that. Well, we've just passed the peak. It was the 12th and the 13th of August of the Perseid meteor shower.
Who is it? The Perseid meteor?
Yes, Perseid meteor shower. So, in fact, on screen right there, there's a Perseid meteor right there. So these beautiful streaks of light in the sky that you can sometimes see. Now, you can see them all times of the year, really, because there are meteor showers happening all really different times of the year. But the Perseids are considered the best. They are essentially a natural firework show.
Yes.
And the Perseids, they are basically debris from a comet going past called Swift-Tuttle. And every year, so this is an annual meteor shower, we actually pass through the material left over from this comet. And when the stuff enters the Earth's atmosphere, so we're talking about like little bits of ice and dust and rocks that have broken off this big comet. As the Earth passes through them, they go through into the Earth's atmosphere. And when things go through the Earth's atmosphere, they heat up and make these beautiful streaks of light in the sky that you can see. And so, yeah, they are just absolutely fabulous.
And they're visible to the naked eye?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this is a part of astronomy that you can do with your naked eyes. You can go outside, and essentially what you need to do is best, really, if you get a lawn chair or something like that. You don't even need something that posh, just a blanket on the floor, really. But if you want to be in a bit of comfort, a nice lawn chair, like you're going out sunbathing, your neighbours, if they're watching you, thinking,
we'll call the police
in the middle of the night. But essentially, you lie back, and roughly when it goes dark, essentially in the summer, so around about 10, 11 o'clock-ish onwards, essentially, you're lying back, and all you need to do is just look up in the sky, and that's it.
And you don't need binoculars or anything to see?
No binoculars or anything like that. You just need to be looking up in the sky. And in chance, like as from here, this is a beautiful astrophotography photo by Alan Trow, who's one of the members of Dark Sky Wales. He's absolutely fabulous astrophotographer. If you're in the South Wales region, honestly, have a look at Dark Skies Wales. And
it's phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah, just go and have a look. But that right there on the right hand side there, you can see a Perseid meteor, and these things happen at random. There's no way of predicting them, really, except for the fact that they are roughly at this time of year every year. And it's about a 3-week event, essentially. So you've got about a week and a half before the peak and a week and a half afterwards. So you can still maybe catch a few that are happening at the moment. But they're not going to be so amazing. This is another one that was found. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do any photos this time this year. But yeah, they are some beautiful ones. That's a fireball. So the two types of meteors that you can get, some are just very short streaks of light, probably just bits of dust. The others are fireballs, and these are the ones that last for a good few seconds, and they streak across the sky, very, very bright, and they can be all different colours because of the chemistry that's within them.
Yes. Can I just ask, cloud cover doesn't make a lot of difference, doesn't it?
Cloud cover definitely can. Ideally, it's another one of those things where you want really clear skies. Essentially, the clearer the sky, the better, because you're not having clouds that are dulling the meteors that you might be able to see. And that's the way that they appear from. So how they get their name is that they appear to come from the constellation of Perseus. So that's where, if you essentially take loads and loads of pictures and stack them all up on top of each other, look for where all these meteors are coming from, they look as though they're coming from that constellation, and that's how they get their name. Gosh. But yeah, cloud cover is a really big thing with the Perseid meteors.
So basically, look at your weather forecast for the evening, and before you put your deck chair out, basically.
Definitely.
Before the blue flashing light arrives in the garden.
Definitely. Oh yes. But yeah, so
is it useful looking for somewhere? I mean, particularly if you're in an area that might be heavily light polluted. So you need to find somewhere that's quite dark without lots of street lamps.
Necessarily, no. It does certainly help. I mean, if you can get yourself to a dark night site, you can get your eyes adjusted to the light levels that are there. But you can certainly do it from a light polluted area, but you can only see the brighter of the meteors essentially.
Yes.
So of course, if you go to a dark night site, you'll be able to see the really faint pieces of dust that just burn up so quickly. So yeah.
You know, you do remind me of those people who remember the sky at night. The sky at night. I was saying to you, you're very young, but when it used to appear on BBC television, it was always around about 10 to 12, just before Thought for the Day, right? They used to have a religious thought for the day. And Patrick Moore would come in with one monocle, and he'd go, "Hello, everybody, good evening, and welcome to the sky at night." Yeah, and he'd be the poshest man on television, and he'd take us through for 10 minutes. It'd be 10 minutes, and I knew that I was bad because I knew I was up too late because I was in trouble if anybody knew. And the only thing that it's as good as it got to watch Patrick Moore late at night. That was it. So anyway, in any other news before we move on? Any other news? Any other kind of space news that we need to know about?
Actually, yes. So recently, astronomers have managed to get some really beautifully detailed pictures of galaxies that they haven't been able to do before. And I know a few people have seen it on BBC News already, and actually messaged saying, "Oh, is Ben watching? Is Ben watching this?" So missed that, but managed to catch up. But essentially, they've used radio telescopes in a way that they have before, but they've been essentially collecting more light over a much bigger area than they have before. So it's similar to the I don't know if you remember the black hole image that we got.
Yes. Yes.
So it was essentially doing the exact same thing as that. So using these radio telescopes all over the globe and putting all of their data together using very precise timings, using atomic clocks and things, and being able to create this beautiful image. Well, they've done a similar technique to this, in fact, pretty much exactly the same, but using galaxies for the target object rather than a black hole. And they've been actually able to get these galaxies in really high definition detail. It's really quite amazing what they've been able to get. So they've been able to peer essentially inside of the galaxies where they wouldn't have been able to do before, using just maybe one or two radio telescopes. They've collected all this data and you can see right inside, and it's absolutely fabulous.
It's a happy day for you, isn't it?
Oh yes, definitely. Astronomy doesn't move too fast, but it definitely does get exciting.
I was going to say it moves at a particular pace, doesn't it?
Oh yes, definitely, yeah.
But that's all right. Actually, gives us time to catch up.
It definitely does.
Gives us time to catch up. Ben, it's terribly good having you on, and we'll have you as our Patrick Moore as always. If anything comes up, you just tell us and when the next major event is. And then you come on and tell us when to be looking up.
Oh, definitely.
It's a good Christian viewpoint, by the way. We're always encouraged to look up, so that's a good thing.
Exactly.
All right. Now, thanks for this, mate. We're going to move on with the show, and thank you so much for coming on as usual, Ben, the spaceman, Casey. See you, guy. Thanks. Talk later, mate. Bye now. Bye. I love that. It's a little feature. It's becoming a little feature on this. Now, Sue, who's this next song for? Moments.
This next song is for the lovely Fiona Richards. Fiona was 60 on Friday, and that sounds like she had a fantastic time, a bit scuppered in places, but generally speaking, I think she had a wonderful, definitely Friday and Saturday. I suspect it's been the whole weekend as well. So, Fiona, this one is for you.
These are the moments that we love so well, precious moments caught within a spell. All too soon our lives, they fade away. These are the moments that we wish would stay. If I had to live again, I would choose to be with you, my friend. Time moves slowly, yet it goes so fast, and who knows how long the days will last. So cherish deep within you the love you get today. Let the moment linger, for tomorrow steals that away. Tomorrow steals that away. These are the memories that we made so well. Lives like stories that we long to tell. When we're old and not too much to say, we'll have the memories that we made today. We'll have the memories that we made today. A beautiful song written by the most fabulous singer-songwriter, Bryn Howarth. And Bryn is going to come on the show, unbelievable, with his guitar in October. With a new album he's just recorded, and you're going to an international star, play with some of the biggest names that you've ever heard of and those you've never heard of. But Jimi Hendrix, Elton John, all of them, he's played with them all. Mm-hmm. And he's coming into this room to play with JV and to sing some songs. That's very exciting. So that's the title of the album Moments, which is the Lockdown Sessions 2. I'm just about to, we've got 2 minutes, and I'd sing one verse. When you're down, that one.
Okay,
when you're down in trouble, and you need some love and care, and then move straight into Colin. And nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend, oh darling. You've got a friend, my sweet darling. You've got a friend. Oh, you've got a friend. Last time. You've got a friend.
And we do. We've got lots of friends.
You got a friend trust.
Yes.
Don't forget it. 25th of September.
Which leads us
and
very
lead us nicely on to a very
into
lovely
our
friend
new
that we've made. Colin Richards. Colin, are you there? Let's have a look. He's going to be there in 2 seconds.
Here we are. There I am.
There we are. Colin, how lovely to see you again, mate. How are you?
I'm very well. It's good to see everybody back again. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. It's been some time, hasn't it, since you came on?
Yes.
Early on in the shows.
Yeah.
And we welcomed you on as a member, somebody who works for the organisation CAP, Christians Against Poverty, all that time ago, and you've got your banner behind you. Let's have a look at it. So move your head out of the way. There it is.
There we go.
And there's Christians Against Poverty. It's a great organisation. But before we get onto that, Colin, there'll be some people who didn't hear your story. And your story, like a lot of our stories, is a fascinating one. We always come from somewhere. We don't come into life in a vacuum. We come at it from a particular context. And your context, tell us a little bit about your story, because it's very interesting.
Yeah, so I became a Christian way back when I was about 19 years old, have lived through life, but I got to 2016, and I was diagnosed with having had a career working as a consultant, project manager, working on all sorts of weird and wonderful, great projects. I got to 2016 thinking something not right here, and I was diagnosed with a very unusual blood cancer called Waldenstrom's macroglobulinemia, which is a type of blood cancer. It's in groups of the various lymphomas. And fortunately, it's a type of cancer that is treatable. It's not curable, but it's treatable. And yes, I take a little cocktail of tablets, as Jonathan will know.
Handfuls of them in the morning. Yeah.
But through the wonders of the NHS and the incredible team that look after me, I'm absolutely fine and able to live a normal life.
How long ago was that?
So that was 2016. I was diagnosed. It took quite a time to diagnose it because it's quite an unusual thing that they had to root down to. But so 2016 was the start of my chemotherapy treatment. And that went through the cycle of 3-week cycles, and it was 6 cycles, and that ran through till the April of 2017. And anybody that's had chemo will know that is not the most wonderful experience, is it? Knock your body for 6, because it's attacking not only the bad stuff, but it also tends to take out the good stuff as well. So I came through that, and as happens a lot with people going through chemo, you're vulnerable to picking up infections because your immune system is suppressed for the infection. Right towards the end, and I ended up being hospitalized over the Easter period. And I remember lying in bed over Easter and getting really quite angry with God. Having been a Christian all my life and done all sorts of things, working with the church, working in the community. I said to him, what's this all about, God? Come on. I was in absolute agony with the infection. It had settled in my ear. And one night I was in the hospital bed and having this really, angry debate with God, and saying, why? What are you going to do with this body, this broken body? I'm in pain. I've been through chemo. My legs ache. Everything aches. What are you going to do with it? This is it. This is my mid-50s. It's all over.
Yeah.
And a voice as clear as a bell came into me, and it was, started. I finished with you. I haven't even started yet. Okay. Where did that come from? What does that mean? And then it was my treatment finished in the April and June. Our Christians Against Poverty Debt Centre, which we have in Kirkentillip, which had been running for about 4 years by then.
By the way, that's in Scotland. Those of you who don't know.
That's in Scotland.
That's in Scotland, north of Scotland.
North of Glasgow.
North of Glasgow. Yes.
And the debt centre manager we had then at that time, a lovely lady called Jill, she needed to step down. She needed to spend more time with her children, who were at that age, needed that extra support, going through schooling. And the church was looking for a new debt centre manager. And I thought, well, I can work my way around. I'd done projects of multi-million pounds. I thought I can manage my way around a council tax bill, can't I? So I took over as manager of the centre at that point, and that was about just over 4 years ago now. And our Kirk and Tillich Centre, along with CAP centres right across the length and breadth of the UK, and in fact in Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and also the USA, have been out there providing support for everybody and anybody of all faiths and none, for people who are in uncontrollable, unmanageable debt, who have found themselves in these situations. We will come alongside them and we will walk that journey with them. We do not pay people's debt, but we walk the journey with them, whatever the route out of debt might be. And many people don't realize that there are a number of routes out of debt. There's many different ones advertised by various companies, but actually there are many, many routes out of debt. You don't need to pay for debt services, for debt counselling services.
No.
Actions Against Poverty, CAP, we're known as. We're nationally based. We offer our service face-to-face, coming into your home. There is Citizens Advice. There is Step Change, who offer services by telephone. There is plenty of support out there for people who find themselves in uncontrollable or manageable debt, be it credit card, council tax, utility companies, bank overdrafts, car finance is a big thing that we're seeing at the moment. All sorts of things, all sorts of overpayments of benefits that are now being taken back, benefit claims where people don't realise there are other benefits they can tap into, and we will look at that, identify it, and then point people towards people like CAB, Citizens Advice Bureaus, who are specialists in that. They help them with that, and then we can help people with resolving the debt that hopefully then comes out of that and lead them through that journey.
It's quite a. I mean, this is a very specific thing, and I'm reaching out to people out in this community and beyond. And if you know of yourself that as you started to speak to you, I'm going to say so. We were in some years ago when I couldn't work because I had violent encephalitis, and we had to find our way through a debt, and we used a credit card to do it. And because we didn't know what we were ashamed. We're thinking we're intelligent people. How have we, got to this point in our lives? All of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
For many people out there, shame is going to be. We'll talk about where we are politically in a second. But shame is one of those things where people out there going, well, I'm not going to reveal my finances to people. Do you find that that's a common thread that runs through?
Yeah, I mean, from CAP's research. It's on average people wait up to 3 years. They struggle up to 3 years.
3 years
before there becomes potentially a breaking point. They may reach out for debt. Now I'm in Scotland. The law in Scotland around debt is in principle it's the same, but there are some important differences to my colleagues who support clients for the law in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. We Scots, we like to paddle around. So, but in principle, the options for route out of debt are the same. But many people think the only route out of debt is I have to keep paying it. I have to keep paying it. And of course, if that's with a credit card, when the interest rate's running at 24% or something, they pay their loan company where it's rolling over, and it's great to see a number of those payday loan companies through government legislation and policy have kind of pushed those guys, some of them cowboys, not all of them, but some of them cowboys off. People don't realise that actually there are ways, and there are people who can be like CAP. We will come between you and your creditors, if you like. We build a brick wall between you and your creditors.
Arbitration.
You talk to us. You don't talk to the client anymore, and we can then represent you. But shame is a massive part of it. And I always say it's one of the last taboos we talk about is our finance. We talk about finance if we're kind of okay. We might joke about it. Oh, I could do with your services. And I always say to people, if they come to me, if I've done a presentation, I could do with your services, joking. And I say, no, you don't need my services, because if you did, you wouldn't be as open as you are about it.
No.
Is the last taboo. We talk about our health. We talk about all sorts of things now, which would have been unthinkable years ago. But we don't talk about challenge of us struggling with our finances. because we always
Why do you think? I mean,
was another day.
I mean, we'll talk, but I wonder why that is. Is it because there's an awful lot of pressure to have in a society like ours to have stuff? So we have stuff, and then we find, oh my goodness, I've got this, but I can't pay that. So I've got a luxury item, but I can't pay for my gas or my electric. So I fall apart, and everything's advertised constantly that we must have these must-have things. And so we must have it. So we do have it. We get into debt to get it. And then we can't find our way out, and it's embarrassing. And, how do we confess to people that we've been stupid, actually?
Well,
it's hard, isn't it?
And that's the notion, isn't it? People view it as, and like you say, Jonathan, you'll get people who will sit there and go, but I have a good job, and I should be able to do this. And what we say is, well, debt can come across people in so many different ways. Yes, there are people who have stretched themselves, and we have seen that, but it can come around through illness. Very, very simply, it can be an illness, and I had it myself. I mean, we were in a fortunate position where, through my contracting days, we had built up reserves, so we're okay. But had I not put those provisions in place to build up reserves, not everything can happen. We could have very easily been in that situation. By that time, my mortgage was cleared, so we didn't need to worry about that. But if at that time I had fallen ill, if I'd have fallen ill with the illness I had maybe 10 years earlier, it's quite a different story, because we still had a mortgage, and the boys were still at home, and suddenly, okay, you might think you've got reserves, but actually you eat through them incredibly quickly.
I think that's exactly right. The same, Sue, would that would have been exactly the same for us, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Had we been with the boys at university and all that.
There are times when, if we've been going through what we've gone through now, that would have been really, really tricky for us to manage. We were very sort of hand to mouth for a number of years.
Over the years,
And the real concern is that as we're coming out of this global pandemic, there is a number of people who may find themselves in that position, and it's about saying to those people, look, it's and we all know that there's potentially a mental health mountain that has been people who have faced what we've all faced through this time, and the challenges that's been, and that can be people who have been furloughed, who have struggled with finance, but even be people, but certainly people in the medical profession who have faced unbelievable challenges over this time, who have worked tirelessly, and in some respects, during that period when they've been working so hard and so long, they maybe have lost touch with making sure the credit card bill was paid on time, or making sure the council tax was paid on time. So, and now people are kind of sitting back and saying, oh, what's this letter? Hang on a minute. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot about that. So, it can happen to anybody. And that's, I think, the message to get across to anybody. It can happen to anybody. It can be an illness. It can be a relationship breakdown. It can be, heaven forbid, a death in the family, of heaven forbid, again, the breadwinner. This can happen. And it's saying to people, look, don't struggle. Don't reach out.
Can I just break in there? Can I just? We talked about the triple whammy, the triumvirate of horror that is facing is coming right now. Actually, tell us a little bit. We talked about just before the show. Just tell me what you tell the people what you were talking about.
So we all know that in the UK we've had at the start of the pandemic we had the uplift, the £20 full pay uplift of benefits per week. In addition to that, we've had there was other support put in place as well, a furlough scheme. But what we're now seeing is as we're coming out of this, and thank goodness we are beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel over this. We now know that the £20 uplift is being withdrawn. At the same time, in the same week almost, we had announcements from Ofgem that they were raising the cap on the utility companies' energy. So the energy companies were allowed to increase the average bill of for energy. So that's kind of it.
About 13%, wasn't it, or something like that?
And then it doesn't mean all the bills are going to go up by that, but
No.
like that. And we do know that wholesale energy costs have increased. And then on top of that, so that's number 2. And then on top of that, number 3, we've got the tailing off and the finishing of the furlough scheme.
Yes.
So, potentially those 3 things combined, we don't quite yet understand the level that that's going to hit and create. Now, our concern is at CAP is that there are people who will that hit straight away, and there are people who will think, well, we'll rob Peter to pay Paul, and they will and on and on and on before they get to the breaking point. And the breaking point could be what we call in Scotland a sheriff officer's letter, where a sheriff officer from a court order will deliver you a letter to basically say, and they deliver it in person. They will say to you, you need, usually council tax is the biggie. Down in England, they still have bailiffs. So you will get potentially a bailiff come to your door, and that could be for a private bill, could be relating to a car finance company may come, the bailiffs will come take away the vehicle and also look to recover the costs of anything else. We've also got things like the moratoriums coming off as well for evictions.
That
is another aspect that's coming soon. So combining all of these things together, we're going to see quite an impact across the finance or people's finances, who are just on the edge, who are maybe just getting by, just surviving. And you think, well, the furlough scheme gave covered up to 80%. We do know that there are some employers that haven't necessarily quite played it by the book about how supported people. Maybe now they're realizing they need to let people go. So we've got a bit of a seismic change going on, and as in all of these situations, there is inevitably fallout that hits really the most vulnerable and poorest people that are in our communities.
I was thinking actually one of the other aspects that people have forgotten, younger people, they had delays in mortgage payments, for example. So they tacked them on to the end, and they felt somehow it was going to be fine. Well, the other thing that's happened is that banks have withdrawn, often wholesale, their overdraft facility, or they're charging 39.9% for once you slip into overdraft, whereas it was 0 or a small percentage. So they've, under the cover of darkness, just literally removed it from people, so that those safety nets that people, particularly people in the middle classes, had, people, they thought, well, we can do this or we can do that. Suddenly, they're going to be in trouble. Colin, is the real thing here? We've now identified the problem. What's the solution?
What's the solution? The solution is to pick the phone up to us.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Pick the phone up to Step Change or to go talk to your local citizen advice. The other kind of scenarios that we face, which is also feeding into this, just to cover it briefly, is there's a number of companies who have introduced get advances on your payment schemes through operators. And this is a scheme whereby that your salary goes into the advanced salary company, but the advanced salary company is saying, well, we'll actually let you draw down your salary in advance.
Oh my goodness.
There's a number of cases where people have drawn down their salary in advance, but of course then when their monthly salary goes in, it's gone. It's gone. So getting into this cycle where the company in the middle, if you like, is taking that salary and charging upwards of £1.50, £1.75 every time you do a drawdown, and they're not putting interest on top because they're getting the salary come through. But what it means is that, dare I say, it's a payday lender in another disguise. I did payday lenders was that you got money off them in advance until you got your payday. Now that are working with major companies that are then saying, well, you make your payroll through us, so you get the salary sent to us, and then if they don't owe us anything, we'll pay it straight on. But if they've chosen to pull money down, we will take our slice first, and then we'll pay on the balance.
Unbelievable.
Is that they become, although they're what we call a secondary creditor, they should be at the back of the queue from the debt point of view.
Yeah.
Themselves to the front of the queue. So they get their money before the council tax, before your gas and electricity company, before your insurance company for your property, before your rent, before your mortgage. So those are some of the challenges. Now, the answer to this is to work with someone like CAP or CAB or Step Change, and we will walk with you to say, right, let's look at your budget planning. Let's look at exactly what your incomes and outgoings are. Let's look at where you spend your money, and we can guide you in ways of how to manage your budget.
Yes.
And we then talk to your creditors. So one of the things CAP is particularly successful with is stopping interest charges. We can't always guarantee it, but we have a very strong track record where we will look at the client scenarios, look at all their finances. We will then present that as a story to the creditors and say,
Yes.
look, you guys, this client's been with you all these years. You've had all this interest payment off them. You know what? They're not going to make it. They're not going to make it.
No.
You guys are going to get paid back 10 times what they've borrowed off you. Come on, play the game. And the finance industry across the piece in the main will play ball with us in that regard. And
do you find therefore that they've got? Are you finding there is a moral streak running through some of these companies?
I wouldn't quite get that far, Jonathan.
No.
But they are more reasonable than perhaps we think they might be.
They are more reasonable. Now, if you have that conversation yourself with your bank, but when someone like CAP is
it has weight.
It has weight, because the banks, it's good for the banks to be seen to be working with CAP, and they know that we are looking at the client's whole picture, and we're getting all of the information. As part of the process, we will go out to the credit reference agencies, the biggest one being Experian, which has all of us. We will capture all of that information with the latest balances and all the figures and everything. So we know that or the banks know that when we're going to them and we're saying, this is Fred, this is his situation, and this is where he's at, these are his numbers. He was in a great job, but when he's been made redundant or he's been made ill or his relationship is broken down or whatever, they know that the story we're telling them has been checked and verified, and the numbers checked. Because we're regulated by the FCA, like all the other banks, but they know that we have done our due diligence. So the story being presented to them is inaccurate. We then put together a budget, which is also a proposal how the client will pay us, and then we will pay out individually to clear that debt over time. But the reason they like us is that if you were, say, Bank ABC, we'll call them, if you're Bank ABC and you've got 10,000 people who are all running behind with loans and debts, and you're firing out letters and you've got teams of phone people on get this money in, and there's anguish and heartache and all that going on. If you've got that 10,000 people working with CAP, you know that actually now you don't need to worry about the letters. People making phone calls, because you will get one payment that covers all of those clients for CAP, one entry into your system, your computer does all the magic in the background. And these clients are now also being, A, you're seeing some money, B, you've saved a massive amount of operational cost. C, you're likely to see your money. And do you know these people are really getting the genuine support they need? And they're happy to work with the likes of CAP. But many, many people will struggle on and struggle on and struggle on and say, well, it's my credit reference and all that stuff. If you've got behind me payments, your credit reference is already gubbed. It's already trashed. It's payments.
So that's it.
That's it.
No, Colin, this has been so instructive, and I think for people out there, I think we're going to have to move on now. But we've got all the information. All the information is available. Have you got phone? Because I can't see this screen properly. Are there telephone numbers on there?
Yeah, there's numbers on there, and number is 0800.
Go to the website.
If you go to the website capuk.org or Google Christians Against Poverty, you'll find it. But what's really important, Jonathan, is if you're in trouble, ask. If you think you've got a workmate, a colleague, a friend, a relative, or a neighbour, whoever it might be, ask the question. They'll probably say they're fine. Ask again.
Ask again. Yeah.
A bit like when you're ill. How are you? You're fine. Okay, yeah, I'm fine. No, ask it again. How are you really? Well, actually, I'm struggling a bit. Okay, talk to me.
Now we can move. Now we can do something. Yeah.
There's something we can do. There are people can help you, and you do not need to pay for the service. Our service, Citizen Advice, Step Change, it is completely free. There is no
Really important for people to know this, and I think you can't emphasise this enough, because often people have no money. There's no they think, oh, I'm going to have to pay for this. I'm going to. They don't. You don't.
don't.
The reason I have
Completely
Colin,
free.
can I just say that Colin has proved himself to be a man of integrity and honesty and truth, and they are a lovely couple. And we went up to church. We went up to sing up at Kirkintilloch
Many years ago.
And actually, for Ben Casey, who's watching, it is. I think the church can be seen from space, can't it? The green roof. I seem to believe it's a satellite. It's well known. You can see it. Anybody actually travelling to church on a Sunday from space can always find their way to Kirkintilloch.
Always get yourself into Kirky. Big green.
Exactly,
Kirkintilloch High Street. Yeah.
And that's great. We're going to look. Thank you so much, Colin, for coming on,
You're
being
very
part
welcome.
of this community. And I know that you offer help and advice, and you've been at the end of a telephone for us and for YGAF and for people who we're at a different end. YGAF are a completely different thing. We're plaster. You're much more solving the
root cause. Yeah,
the root
get
cause
to the root cause
of that thing, and we're going to have you on again, and you are our cat representative here on the JV and the Steinway room and this community. And I know that people are going to be. I encourage you. I'm looking right at the camera, and this is a man I trust, and Sue trusts with all our lives. This is a good man, and he's been through the fire himself. He knows about stuff. So please, do not just leave it. Do not leave it. Don't leave it for that 3 years. Do what you need to do. And if you need an advocate, if you need, someone like Sue and I to approach him on your behalf because you're embarrassed, he's not going to worry about that. He'll put more than, it doesn't matter how it happens, as long as it happens. Colin,
Absolutely.
Bless you, bless Fiona in her, and now she's an old woman at 60.
She's got a bus pass now.
We're all old people, mate. We're all old. That's it, Right, bless you, be good, and we'll speak again. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks so much. Take care.
God bless
Cheers.
you now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Such a great guy, and such I think a very special person to come on to the show and to talk about in realistic. So I know people out there who've been helped by being on this program.
Yeah, and it's not about overspending. It's about you suddenly find yourself in a situation because you've lost your job. I used to work at a job centre for many years, and I know how devastating it can be to one day have a job and the next day not to have a job. And you suddenly find yourself completely wondering where the next sort of payment for the rent or the mortgage is coming from. And that's a terribly frightening place to be, actually.
Yeah, it is.
And so you often end up in a sort of debt-filled situation through no fault of your own. It's just the way that things have gone for you. And so to have these friendly people, kind, friendly people to help you out of that pit, wow,
yeah, it's about
fabulous.
And to that end, and this is something I just want to mention about Amanda and Tristan Lansley.
Yeah. Speaking about people who've lost their jobs.
People who've lost their jobs, and both of them have lost their jobs, and they're really trying really hard to find work. They would like to work. They've been working for the Salvation Army before, working for people, and I know they live in the Colchester kind of area, the east of England area. And if you know of an administrative job, and Tristan and Amanda, you know that they do their poetry and their piano. And Tristan is a rare talent on the piano, a fantastic guy. Even better because he played my songs. Love him. But they are looking for work. So here on the JV community, if you live in the east of England and you know of any work that's going, that you think, that Amanda might be up for that, or Tristan might be up for that. If there's anything like that that's going in that area, please contact us or contact them directly, but you can contact us and we can put you in touch. All right, so this is a little notice board.
Yeah, but also, to sort of celebrate the people who have managed to get work. We know that Dan Bellamy, you've managed to get a job, which is great.
Fantastic.
And also, dear Rob Barron, you've managed to get some teaching work, which is fabulous. So enjoy being back in front of those students.
And talking of Rob Barron, I'll be on tomorrow night with you, Sue,
Hope FM.
On the Hope FM show on radio live, doing an interview about what's been going on for us. If you want to tune in tomorrow night on, what's it called? On
Hope FM.
Hope FM, and with Diane and Rob, and that will be great. So I think I'm going to do to do this. I want Jesus to walk with me and sing a couple of songs, and then we're going to go home. Hold on, we are home.
We are home. Yes. Okay.
And it's 90.1 FM, and you can get that. Rachel's just written out. It's 90.1 FM, and you can get that on your computer. You won't be able to get it on your dial. I think it's going to be because the signal's not strong enough. But you can get it on their app, on the Hope FM app. Okay, tune in on the radio. Okay, can we have this wonderful song that I recorded with Bryn Howarth, Mark Edwards in the studio? I'm going to play along. It's a wonderful song called I Want Jesus to Walk With Me. I want Jesus to walk with me. I want Jesus to walk with me all along my pilgrim journey. I want Jesus to walk with me. When my trials walk with me, and my trials walk with me. Oh, when the shades are falling, I want Jesus to walk with me. In my sorrows, walk with me. In my sorrows, oh Lord, walk with me. Oh, when my heart is aching, I want Jesus to walk with me. And my joys walk with me. Oh, and my joys, oh Lord, walk with me. Oh, when my life is filled with laughter, I want Jesus to walk with me. in my trials. Walk with me in my sorrows. Walk with me in my joys. Walk with me. I want Jesus to walk with me. I want Jesus to walk with me. I want Jesus to walk with me. Walk with me. Walk with me. Walk with me. Walk with me.
I know that for a number of people that's very much the case at the moment, and we want to particularly mention Graham Harrison, who's waiting for the news on his latest biopsy. For Rachel Eves, you've just come out of hospital, but things are still not quite plain sailing for you. For our dear friend Linda, who is just waiting to start her treatment. Dave Roberts and your wife, she's still recovering. And of course, we mentioned those people who are still looking for work, etc., etc., etc. So we know that there are a number of people who just need Jesus walking alongside them through whatever they're going through at the moment. So if that applies to you, that one is for you.
And that one for Leslie Sutton.
And for Leslie, our good friend Leslie,
family
as well.
Right now. Just a quick, can I just do a quick?
Just quick.
You didn't notice after this.
Okay.
I just want to do a little bit of a quick preempt because I've spoken to Mark Edwards, who's coming into the studio on the 5th of September for a special Mark and JV special. And we're going to be I don't even know what we're going to be doing yet, but we're just going to be
having fun.
What you're going to do
this evening, let alone this. What are you talking about?
5th of September, who knows? I've got to go to the hospital tomorrow morning, that's all I know. I've got to go and have a blood test, that's me. But he's coming in. But we spoke yesterday, and we're putting now, very soon, we're going into the studio to record the Christmas album. Now, this means those of you who are going to want this Christmas album, this new Christmas album, because it will be the third in the trilogy of the Lockdown Sessions albums. So we've got the first one, Lockdown Session 1. Session 1 is Moments, and now here we go with the third one, which is It's Christmas. All right, and we've got some great songs, and you, hopefully, will be singing on that. Go tell it on the mountain. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain. That's Mary's baby. It's not just an ordinary baby. Tell him the Savior is born. That's what we're going to be doing. It's very funky, and you're going to be involved singing in that. We would love to have the choir, 100 or so people.
That would be fabulous.
It would be fabulous to have you.
Time.
Now, what we're going to do, Matthew's going to launch it for us. He's going to come in on a Sunday and do a quick launch. Now, we don't need, we need it. We need basically to get it working. We're going to just as we did before. Sue and I will take nothing from this for ourselves. We will pay the musicians, the studio, the duplicating, the copyright,
printing,
everything that it's. But we will take no money until the ones that have been paid for. Effectively, what you're doing is you're buying an album beforehand. So you're paying 15 quid, which pays for a number of you to have there, and then it finances all the way it's done. Then when we've given away, given to you the ones that you've bought. Then on 361 or 400, whatever it is that who have ordered them, then we actually start collecting a little bit of cash. So that's going to be the way it works. That's how we did the last one. We didn't take a penny from anything that you gave us. That was the principle of it.
No, but by your generosity, we were able to actually finance two albums, which was just extraordinary.
So,
extraordinary.
It's effectively fronting up an album. That's what you're doing. You're paying your £15 or slightly more if you're going to be in the choir, just for the privilege of doing it. And I think we might have one other thing that we did, which was like the dedications. You can only have a certain amount of those on the album.
We're still thrashing out the details, as you can say, as you can tell.
But we don't need millions. We just need the cash to do it. And we've got some already, and so from
topping up the funds.
Topping up the funds, basically, to make it happen. So we're going to go to the studio in September to record. We're going to book the musicians. He's just checking all that out now. But that's quite exciting. That's coming up in the future, and we'll let you know all about that. But you will get an album out of that, we hope, in your little little mix.
Presents for friends.
Presents for people at Christmas. And there we will make some money. If we're honest, and that's when we do make a little bit of dosh on the side. It won't be a lot, but it'll be enough. And that's what we found. Actually, during this time, it's enough. We haven't been able to earn a living properly, and not even slightly, just a few thousand from university and your generosity and anybody else, the government money, but that's it. So what we want to do is we want to kind of go ahead with that. Just want to give you notices. Now, Sue, just any notices that you've got?
Yes, I'm just going to quickly whiz through these because, as Joyce has said, I look very tired. Okay, so I will just whiz through these. So, first of all, we've got jonathanveira.com is the website address. Now, we've talked about dates that are going to come up in terms of shows and that sort of thing. So all that information will be on the calendar within the website. So that's what you need to go for. You need to go for jonathanveira.com, and you will find in there the calendar, which will have all the information about the dates and the time and how to get tickets, all right? Also in the website is the shop. So the shop will tell you that actually you can buy these CDs and books that we talk about. So for example, You Raise Me Up is on You Raise Me Up. And of course, you've got the lockdown sessions, CDs and so on. They're all there. It's easy to use, and you can just order them. If you send me an email, then I will be able to get Jonathan to dedicate them to someone in particular. So that's a useful thing to do for present. Also, those of you who have given to us, we are so grateful. Some of you do it through PayPal, which is paypal.me/Jonathan Veira, all one word. If you would rather put some money into a bank account, preferably ours, then the information I can give you, if you write to me on sue@jonathanveira.com. Now, that's the email that you need to use for basically any questions or any thoughts or whatever. So now I'm firing on all cylinders. I'm not quite. The brain is still a bit jumbled, but generally I'm trying to get back into the routine of doing some work and so on. So sue@jonathanveira.com if you've got a question. If you'd like to know a little bit more about hosting a Jonathan evening, you don't have to commit to it. If you just want to ask a few questions, you can do that on sue@jonathanveira.com. So that's what you want to do. You want to actually write to me on that. JV Live Tech is where you need to go for any notices or anything like that. So that's jvlivetech.uk. It's the website, and that will have all the information about the YGAV Day and that kind of thing. So that's where you need to go for that. So it'll tell you all about the God of Friend Trust Day, and it'll give you all the downloads and so on. Remember, the downloads are not happening until Tuesday, but they will be there from Tuesday onwards, we hope. So I think that's all the notices that I want to give you now, because we are over time by 15 minutes. What a surprise. And we will sing the last couple of songs before we go.
Go peaceful in gentleness through the violence of these days. Give freely, show tenderness in all your ways.
Through darkness, in troubled times, let holiness be your aim. Seek wisdom, let faithfulness burn light
God speed you, God lead you, and keep you wrapped around His heart. May you be known by love.
Be righteous, speak truthfully in a world of greed and lies.
Show kindness, see everyone through heaven's eyes. God hold you, enfold you, and keep you wrapped around His heart. May you be known by love. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and give you His peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and give you His peace, and give you His peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn His face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn His face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and be gracious to you, and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and give you His peace, and give you His peace. Thank you very much. Thank you,
Good night,
Colin.
everyone.
Thank you, Ben, for being special guests. Thank you to
And
the tech
thank
team.
you for joining us.
And thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.